one of the pillars of tonight's panel discussion is, of course, longevity. And the first question I would like to pose is addressed to both m2atelier and as engineering, and is about intertwine of backgrounds. So how can architecture, engineering, and design contribute to longevity from a physical point of view, but also mental and emotional point of view? Ladies first, so I would like to involve Marijana.
You want me to start? Okay. So, thank you. This is a very good question. Thank you all for being here. As we said, we do our projects together, and we all know that hospitality, longevity, like all these words that we hear very often, are not just about trying to integrate some kind of features that are fitting into space. We have to think everything from the beginning. We have to include. We have to, let's say that maybe the main word would be a balance, to put together a space that can inspire, but also space that can make people live better. And of course, it's not only architecture, it's a really profound way of thinking about every project. So it's a work of all of us together. We all have to work together in order to work on it, because we are often used to start the project and then include other actors later on. But today, of course, we start thinking together, we start to adapt the spaces to a lifestyle of today, to all our frenetic life and very speedy life, and create those spaces. So longevity, we are happy to be involved in the different projects of this subject, if we can call it, but let's say that their presence throughout all the projects we work together. So that's why, let's say that, so we try to start the project, to structure it the way to accommodate a pleasant life. Of course, we're talking about hospitality, we are talking about guests that has to be calm at the same time, but also work at the same time, to be overexposed, but also alone. And we are trying to create those spaces that, we have to kind of engineer the way that they all work, that they are acoustically pleasant, that they are, visibly pleasant, and there are so many pieces that we have to put together, and I'm happy to hear the other side of.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree. I think that if we think about life quality, I think that life quality is actually also driven by many things that are not so visible, like the thermic temperature, the temperature comfort, the acoustic, the light, the user-friendly use of technologies, and everything has to be. I think a project is successful is everything is and is well designed if it's not really visible, but make the life of the people that live a space easier, free of stress. Mental stress, physical stress. So I think this is really what make an engineering successful, and design for the longevity, for the quality of the life.
Thank you, Andrea. Marco,
So
if you want to add something, the second M of M square.
No, the
the
second
word to
M.
you.
Designing is always a very complex. We believe, we all know that it's much more complex, I think, than what it used to be. The clients, and it's much more experienced, so the expectations are higher and more complex. So the experience is selective. So the designing is not only about shape or aesthetics, not anymore. I think this is a global reality. So we were speaking about, of course, scents and acoustical lighting, and in our work we have a lot of match in every project, from a little small house to a big building. We try to mix all and try to have all these ingredients, and sometimes we work inside out instead of outside in. So we take the client, the experience, as a first, let's say, goal. what kind of experience we try to create. And so you were speaking about, of course, things that makes a space successful. I mean, we all know that in a restaurant with a lot of noise, of course, you create a bad memory, even if the food is great. You can go in a beautiful hotel, but if it is, if you experience a replication of another hotel, again, it's something not new. So all these ingredients, they also, you were mentioning longevity, like in a mental way, in a physical way. So trying to understand what makes an experience more, I wouldn't say memorable, but building a memory. So also we all now are, like everybody underlines how activity is important, physical activity. So very basics, when we try to do circulation, a good, we implement circulation, physical circulation. When you have a staircase, there is a monumental staircase because you want people to make a staircase. You don't hide it. Then you want to, and also another thing is like a signage. I think is you have to think, you have to try to make things easier for everybody. So circulation has to be easy in a hotel, in a house, we do a lot of retail also, but not forced. So there are so many ingredients that we can maybe speak even later in the discussion, but it's not only, actually inside out, I think is basically what I think is important to look at them in another perspective.
Can I add something?
No.
I like this about circulation, movement, what you have, signals. We have, of course, lift in our headquarters, but we have stairs. And we are pushing everyone to take stairs because people needs to move. And so in all the walls of our lift is written, take the stairs. So even what you said, I mean, signals is very, very important. The message that we are giving to our clients or to our employees or the people working in a place or living a place is very, very important. Sorry.
No, don't feel sorry. You gave yourself a self-assist in a way. So I would like to pose you the question. So, from a very technical perspective, which is yours, what I would say, what role do movements, recovery, and generally speaking, I would say also wellness play in spatial design? Not only in your headquarters, of course.
No, I mean, we are working with, architects are our best partners in all the projects that we are working. And of course, movement, recovery is all part of the big project. What I really like is that if until 10, 15 years ago, where an architect were starting a project, they just say, come on, okay, you have an empty space, you have an empty room, just place the gym there and call techno gym. Now it's changed. What I really like is to start a project since the beginning with the architects. They place their creativity and we place our 43 years of experience trying to find a solution for the client. Every client is different. Every client needs a different training experience. That can be yoga, can be running, can be strength, can be all of us, all of them together. And so this is what we really like, that now the paradigm is changed. And I think, but Marco, Marijana, confirm please, that is one of the pillars of their project, but I'm pretty sure they agree with me because we are working on many of them. The wellness area is maybe not the core of all the projects, but anyway, something very, very important to take care of since the beginning.
Absolutely. We did also, we showed before the core New York building that we did, the project. And that was a very nice example because we put the gym and there was a spa area in the best location, with the best view of the city, instead of, usually like 10 years ago, maybe gyms were located more in the underground level, not necessarily with a natural view like light. So then in that case, if the view of Manhattan and Central Park on New York, where the real estate is very valuable, so of course you have to have a very visionary client and very willing to risk, but also to understand trends, because the paradigm, using the word use, it's there. It's not us. It's everything is going in that direction, and so you have to understand that. Every project, you think a project, and it takes years after you actually open to the public. So our role is also to understand, trends, and there are bad trends and good trends. Hopefully, the good ones, and trying to, of course, enhance them and making a better project.
Thank you so much. Francois, from an entrepreneurial perspective, do you think that hotels can become a kind of longevity hub rather than just places of stay?
Yes, eventually yes. Let me step back a little bit, if you don't mind.
Feel free to.
An hotel is developed for someone that has a motivation to go that place. So if you are developing an hotel in the city center of a town, you wouldn't expect to go into a spa retreat. So you would go into an hotel which is designed to satisfy the needs of the traveler going to that specific location. So, for instance, if you have an hotel in San Marco Square, you would develop a nice hotel and you would have a nice spa to have the guests to recover after they have a long day into Venice, visiting museum, visiting the lagoon, visiting whatever is offered by the destination itself. So yes, longevity in the sense of having a spa into the hotel is part of that concept. Longevity is also the basic of hotels. So the basic of hotels is to welcome people, have them to sleep well, so have a super bed, have super pillows, and make sure that they don't get upset when they walk in the morning and they go to the shower and the shower doesn't work. And the same goes into the breakfast room. So we go from the very basics into, for instance, 3-star properties where you would expect to have a comfortable bed, a clean room, a shower that works, and then a breakfast room which is working. And then from the 3-star onwards, you would develop a concept which is increasing into whatever it is comfort. So air, where there is the air in the room, which is forced air into the room in order to have the oxygen, which is kept to the right standard for people to sleep, the comfort of silence, different kind of comforts, also the aesthetics, okay? And so the motivation to travel into an hotel is the essential reason to develop an hotel. With regards to longevity, there are hotels under development which have been extremely successful in their business. And this has happened especially in Italy, in Trentino, where over the last 10 years, spa retreats have been developed, and people, they go to the spa retreat because they want to be in a special place, lonely, they want to have a retreat where they forget about the stress they live on a day-to-day basis in their own life. So yes, life, health and safety, safety. Health is becoming a core value in every hotel development, but the size of the health, spa, longevity, whatever, is depending very much on the destination, the location, and the reason to travel to that specific hotel property.
Thank you. That's a perfect bridge. Oh, if you want to add something more, please.
So add something to Francois. If you see any space for like urban longevity, maybe a boutique hotel, because Trentino, of course, like Sardinia or like many retreats in the world, of course. But do you think there would be a business like interest or like successful having like retreats, more longevity with stay, so you can hide from the city within the city?
Well, Do you mean something that has rooms above?
Yeah. Yes, yes.
No, I don't. I don't, because in the first place, that is a business approach, okay? So today, the motivation to go to a spa, it's very strong. So you don't need to be in a city center and pay the square meter to be in the city center. So you can go in the middle of nowhere and pay, I don't know, 1,000 per square meter to develop and to buy a land plot and to develop the spa retreat. The important thing is that the spa retreat can be reached quite easily, so it's not too far from an airport, it's not too far from a highway. It has the connectivity in order to be there. So investment-wise, I wouldn't see the reason to go into, for instance, again, San Marco Square and have a longevity out of 10,000 square meters, have 4,000 square meter into a longevity, let's call it spa sort of clinic, okay, because we are going into clinics now, and whereas I would see it as a standalone in the very city center. So also what you have to understand, who is going to use the longevity retreat, okay? Because if you're doing it into the city center, most probably your client are going to be the resident of their particular destination. You wouldn't have someone coming to Milan to go into a longevity retreat. You might have some longevity treatments within your property, okay, or would require longevity treatments within the destination that you go. So you would ask for a place for, I don't know, vitamins, ozone therapist, or whatever it is not within the property. And then one very important thing is that you have to understand what is your business. Okay, but this is, again, it's the perspective of an investor, okay, an operator. So you want to understand what is your carry of risks, okay? So if you're an operator of hotel, then you manage waiters, you manage, housekeepers, you don't manage doctors. Okay, that is a different story. So if you want to manage doctors, it has to be a standalone activity. And this is my view, standalone activities, not within the same roof, not within the responsibilities of caring and treat, people over a medical activity.
Thank you.
Yes, but also when you talk about the hotels in the center, in the city center, and the travels that work and travel for business, and they have few days, and they still, they sleep a little bit, but they have to sleep well, as we said. Then they have to do some other things. So this, what you mentioned earlier, is very nice, because also there's kind of services that are kind of you can offer. But let's say that longevity we can see also from the other point of view. So it's not all about it's not about treatments and not about medical. It's also about like trying to use your little time, because you often travel alone, and then you say, okay, this is my spot to sleep. Finally, I'm out of the work, family, things like that, and at least have long meetings, and you can dedicate your little time to something else and to yourself. So
Yes.
This is something that can be integrated. That is also more important, because we don't often find time to go to a retreat and stay for 7 days. We wish we would all we wish, but we have to find maybe a kind of, I don't know what kind of like format would be. We need to add something to our fast travels, 2 days in the middle of, I don't know, Amsterdam or like Paris or New York. So this is something that is maybe needed, to find a shape that can, help us all to live and survive in a good shape.
Yes, we like to live and survive, and have fun, by the way.
And have fun. Exactly.
Well, again, so the hospitality here, we are sizing a little bit the kind of hospitality, okay? Because people traveling into 3-star properties, usually they don't take treatments, they don't know what the treatment is. They are beginning to enjoy gyms, okay, so they would expect to have large gyms with all the different machines available and the machines that they find in their own place. And Technogym is developing very good technology also to follow the different clients they have within the different properties in order to then get into what is their standard training, you know, with everything that you have offered. If you're talking about the luxury segment, then it's a different story. Okay, it's a different world, it's a different story. So luxury hospitality is different from the rest of hospitality. Okay, and if you go into luxury, then I agree with you, it's different.
Okay, I think it's time to introduce the second topic. We're ready to go.
You don't like this one?
No, I like it too much, but
Okay.
you're saying too
No,
much. You're anticipating all my questions. That's a point. So now let's recall a little bit the title of tonight's panel discussion, which is Refine Sensitivity. And so I would like to ask to both Marco and Marijana, from their point of view, from their perspective, in nowadays hospitality landscape, I would say, how do you think that, what does refined sensitivity mean? Tough question. I know.
Tough question.
I know.
Refined sensitivity. We can have the first one always. Thank you, Luke. So this is, I think that we can say that we should design space that is not, they could do the design that is not immediately visible, but it has to be deeply felt. So like we have to, concentrate more on like less aesthetics, because we are all, let's say, exposed to overwhelming and a lot of information, a lot of things, So now how we have to find a layer and we have to find a way to do the project that you enjoy, but you don't even know why. You start feeling well in a space that is made actually to embrace many people, that is very adaptable, but not adaptable giving so many options to people, but adaptable to many different people with the different needs and different habits. And so like sensitivity is like to do the project that can fit more people. Okay, of course we are all different. We all know what does it mean, but I think that there are ways to always embrace the wider amount of people that can like something. And of course, this is not an easy job. This is what we are doing every day, trying to make it work, and trying to listen to every client we have that is a brand, that is a company, that is a private individual. But it was like listening and understanding what is happening and how the world is evolving and what are our needs that are changing like rapidly all the time. So I think that this is just to start.
Thank you. A hot microphone.
It's your task.
Well, she always said it all very well, but hard to add without being, no, I pass you like a. No, it's refined, meaning that is hard. To be refined is hard. There's a lot of work to do a refined and essential product. I speak about product because we actually, at the end of the day, we have to, solve a request, and this is what we're trying to achieve. And when we say refined, I mean because of the public and our guests, even in the 3 stars, I would say any level, from the basic to the most sophisticated, like human beings are more refined now. We are tempested by from the web, social media. Everybody knows, you go on Pinterest and you see beautiful outputs. So everybody has access to information much easier. So people get more educated, design-wise, understanding better what is, and so they define a style. So to be an architect, I think you have to be very, paying a lot of attention, be very curious, of course, but being very vertical in the understanding, trying to be less horizontal, but more vertically on what you're trying to achieve. If you do a house, a shop, a longevity retreat, or like a 3-star or a 5-star. So refining, meaning to be more focused on the result you have to achieve. So understanding your clients, but going up beyond what is more obvious. So what we were saying before about longevity, what? All hidden things, all longevity things, all cultural things. And again, I refer to what maybe we mentioned before. You have to create an experience, and it's all about that. Experience is a very wide and generous word, and to do an experience, to make it to create a memory again, you have all these ingredients, and I think it's a very hard job. It's not something that comes immediately. In the office also, we also in the video, we were speaking about we like change. We like change not from a business point of view. I know that change for a businessman and an entrepreneur, it's not a good word. But changing meaning you can change your mind even during the process. A project lasts, like I said, years. So from the first idea, so sometimes decades, from the first idea to the last, you have to be able to change while refining, without compromising budget and timing, because of course, that is the first thing. We are professionals. So even that is understanding, reading what surrounds you, your client, your clientele changes. So I don't know if I added something, but
You did.
You happy?
No, I'm happy. I assume that Andrea was willing to speak and maybe add something more.
No, I think that a design, a project in the end is successful if people that leave the space. You were talking about making the client understanding which are the needs of our client, which is the target of the project we are doing. But I think it's also it's also a matter of understanding how the people that will leave the space, will feel the space, meaning that I think that really a project is successful if the people that will leave the space will think, if we feel like the space has been designed by themselves, like in their mind. I think this is really the target that a good design should have, meaning that, of course, everything has to be, on the other hand, as I was saying before, it's impossible. The design has to be adaptable as well, meaning that, but not adaptable, changeable, but that this feeling has to be felt by a much number of people that is living the space as possible. Meaning that it's not to be so strict, so designed, so over designed that if you don't use the space as the designer as imagine, you feel uncomfortable. So I think this is the right balance that has to be find to make a space really comfortable for people and refine the sensibility.
And in your opinion, how can you achieve a kind of sense of identity and belonging?
It's a good question. I think again, it's when a person enter. When I think about identity, when belonging, probably the place you belong is a bit my home, the home. No, the first thing you think about. So again, and home, what does it mean? Probably comfort. The way you want to live a space that is very flexible. Again, you and in your home you are free to use every space whatever you want, however you want. So again, this is, on the other hand, is a real challenge because if I think to an investor, for example, all this flexibility, a way to think an air conditioning system that is really good in every single space probably is cost impacting, is budgeting impacting, is
It's crazy, by
it's
the way.
crazy.
Yeah.
But you have to find the right balance in the end.
François,
Shall I?
of course.
Well, I believe that, well, for hotels in particular, I believe that you should give a wow effect. Okay, so you walk into a room and there must be an actor into that room which is catching your eye and is saying, wow. Okay, like us, especially women, when they have something which is beautiful, they tend to show it. And this is what we have to do whatever we do with regards to architecture. So it might be a beautiful view over a bay, it might be a staircase, like that one we have seen before, which is an actor into a room which was a little bit difficult probably to design. It can be something that you can play with, and this is something which we have shared on a project into one hotel, which has been proved to work very well because it was a wow effect again, and everybody was playing with it from 3 years old to 80 years old over the globe. So people coming from Italy, Japan, China, wherever. So the wow effect is the one thing that creates your emotion within a room, whatever room. And this is what we try to do in our property, whether it is a 3-star or whether it's a luxury property. Okay, so we have to give evidence to what is the beauty in that particular space, whether it's a view, whether it's an object, whether it's an architectural component that has been designed within that particular room.
May I? I like the wow effect conversation, because wow effects, can be many things, right?
It's tricky.
It's tricky because wow effect could be also no design. Wow effect could be like a empty room, a white box, like so. Wow effect is not necessarily opulence, not anymore at least. It's not as excess, but it's about, again, could be playful, what? An idea, but it could also be or a feeling. When you enter like a resort, maybe the wow effect is a landscape, I would imagine, if you're on a lake or on the mountains. And if you don't have that, it's your entrance. When you enter a space, you have to have a feeling, right? That could be a smell and a proportion. You don't have necessarily to have, the fountain or the chandelier. So wow effect, because we tend to associate wow effect to screaming design or like, I wouldn't say opulence, but I'm here, I show it, and I'm proud of it. I think it's different levels of wow effect, right? If you agree.
Yes. Horrible things, they create a wow effect.
Why even horrible things?
I agree with you. It's a sentiment, though.
Absolutely.
Creates emotions.
As a matter of fact, there's a kind of a shift in which the guests are now experiences, the hospitality trip in a journey in a refined way. Christian, from your technical perspective, but you're also head of design and architecture, so you have, a more round background. Tell me something more about the expectation from the guests when they enter a hotel and when, they expect a kind of, luxury experience, how it has been, changed over the years.
So more and more they want a seamless experience when they get in a wellness area. And that's why we are working a lot with AI. We have some a new collection that we launched a couple of years ago, where all the machines, you can just activate them with our app that our clients can use all around the world on that kind of machine. And this is what they are expecting, to find something not anymore the average gym of years ago, like a chicken battery of products, but they want different areas, different experience, depending even of the hotel that they are choosing, because there are, we are working with the most important hotel chains globally, and they are very, very strict in guidelines. We used to work with the hotel chain, with the developer, with the architects, and our company, believe me, is not easy, because to make everyone on the same page is very difficult. But we are able, working all together, to create something unique for every hotel chain. Now, of course, the customization is an issue, because almost all of them are asking something dedicated. We are moving in this direction. We have launched our atelier, and the new product identities for our lines that are already on the market. And I see that it works. Just maybe to change the color of the inlay, and that speak with the concept, with the mood of this hotel completely, open new horizon to the clients and to our customer. And this is very important for us, trying to create something unique, profiling the client, giving a dedicated experience and a dedicated solution. We are working, we try to be, to have a solution to everyone, from private homes, big yacht, hotels, of course. Condo and residential is another big market right now. Of course, club, gyms, physiotherapists, doctors, other very important client for us. And the profiling, and to have the solution, for a dedicated solution for all of them, I think is the goal. And giving them a seamless experience, as I said at the beginning. Because, and then, everything is on our lifestyle. What I always like to say, that we are a 360 degrees lifestyle design company, because we really take care of every single detail of the product while we are designing it, and we have more than 200 people in the R&D department. And then together with architects, we work on the environment and the interior design of the hotel or whatever. But then we design the experience, even that our clients, our customer, can live on our products. So even the contents that there are displayed on the screen is something that must be designed. And so that's why, for me, Technogym is a 360 degrees lifestyle design company. And we are trying to give and to help people to have a better lifestyle. It's not anymore about a lifespan, but it's more about a health span. So you want to live longer, but healthier, not only longer. And we really believe that movement is something that helps you to stay healthier longer. And that's it.
Can I add?
Sure.
I'm always the adder. No, the good, the fortune we have as architects, we can work with the best companies, the best producers. We learn from everybody. Like what Christy was saying, we learn a lot from healthness. Then we learn a lot from how you manage, from the business side. We learn a lot from materials. There are the material panorama is so vast and incredible incredibly interesting. New materials, new surrogates of like fabrics or ceramics, incredible with like a anti-pollution system. There is so much to learn from everybody. So I think that as architects, in order to try to achieve a better project, is keeping well informed, first of all, and trying to get all the ingredients from everybody, clients, companies, artisans, material producer, and all the research and development. All these companies have a research and development like very structured like team, and we have to, I think, as an exercise, to understand what is the best, like gem or pearl from each to do a better project, because we learn every day, but not necessarily we take all the candies. Because if when you do not do a healthness retreat, but you do a business center like we did with Francois, in which there was the need of hosting large number of people in your hotel, in which flexibility, acoustical, so was but then the health part was more of a something in addition to what the main purpose was, right? So I mean, I wasn't trying to say that.
Now we're developing a karaoke room, by the way.
A karaoke room is the
It's
most.
the wow effect and
That's the wow
the gaming
effect.
tool.
The karaoke, we love the karaoke.
No, but it's true.
It's true. It's a beautiful karaoke. It's a beautiful
We've got
karaoke.
plenty of Chinese guests, and they want to sing, and we want them to sing. We make sure that they sing.
Yeah.
No, but let me add one thing to what has been said, which is to me very important. We started to develop 4-star property, very basic, and at the very beginning we had no money. Okay, so we had to have creative people to design a place which was a welcoming place, a comfortable place, and a place that looked good and have the wow effect for the people walking in. So it was very important into the development of the project to keep the number of materials to a limited numbers. And with our architects, which by the way are Marco and Marijana, they have been extraordinary in developing a concept which was a concept which looked luxurious for a 4-star property with with a limited amount of money. And that is, to me, the secret of designing well and creating experience to guests arriving into a property where they say, wow, I am taking my wife, girlfriend in a place which is higher to the expectation that we had when we made the booking. And that has been a process which took us over the last 15 years into the different projects that we have seen together, which we have developed, and it proved to be very successful.
Thank you. I think that's the perfect point to introduce the third team. So many stakeholders or actors, in a way, in the same journey. And the question is how to intertwine the many expertise and the many skills, and when. So it's a very tricky question, I know. So Marijana, don't feel scared that don't want to start with you.
Now I won't.
But this time I would like to start with Andrea, because his part of his engineering is a firm specialized in integrated architecture. So maybe you can share with us your perspective, and maybe we can have a broader conversation on that all together.
Yeah, of course. the integration of all the disciplines of the engineering with the architecture is the secret, but it's not a secret. It's the base of every good project. But on top of that, I think it's also really important to have a clear project governance, meaning that I think that the target, especially from the client, for example, from the investor, has to be really clear, because as we were saying before, maybe sometimes there is no money, there is no time. This is the reality. So of course we can talk about everything, all the nicest things we could have, but at a certain point we have to deal with the constraints. And coordination within disciplines is the real secret behind the success, to really get all the target, no, and to fulfill the aim of the client and of the project in general. This is, in my opinion, valid for the things that create the wow effect that maybe we were talking before, but as well as also the co-protagonist behind the scenes, like the air, the acoustic, all the engineering systems that anyway allow to the people that live the space to feel the space that is right, the right one. And if you don't really take the target given by the project at the first step and meld them inside all the disciplines, not just put at a certain point like a layer on the project that imply to change, to redesign, maybe to again work and don't reach the final result, if not starting every time from scratch, deleting what has been done before. I think this is really important.
Thank you. Mariana, Marco, it's your turn.
Yeah, we have to. Yes, it's really true. So when we all have to start working together, it's like yesterday before even starting a project, and how important is what you just said, that we all work at the same time, and that nothing is defined, and then we call the last and we put the gym equipment, as you're saying, or like we discuss with the layout cannot be finalized. Nothing can be done if all the actors are not in place from the very beginning. Otherwise, we are risking on, let's say, redoing things, but also rethinking it, and all the pieces has to be checked at the very first time. There is nothing that we were used to do before, as nothing that can be an added piece or that we can think about later. Not even a smallest piece of element, like anything that can go to the hotel project or any other project, especially hotel projects. So like all the public spaces and food and beverage, all the areas where people have to spend time, it has to be taught from a very first moment together. And of course, the reactions and the feedback that we are receiving, of course, will make every project better. So every layer we add, every opinion we get, every experience that comes from even, like somebody who will not even didn't think about it, like the usage, the service, all the people have to be involved, and at some point have a look on what we are doing before we move forward. Because like that, of course, we will be able to finalize the successful project, as François was mentioning earlier. And, this is how we work on every single project today.
If you want. You are the other, the official other.
I agree.
Fantastic. François. No, yes, I mean, you were, having the mic really ready.
I think, I have two different experiences. One is working with my wallet, which was very much easy. Okay, so, and it was very much easy also because we have done things in a period where things were much easier to do. Okay, up until which is a fact, before the COVID. Okay. Nowadays, and then I have, so when I work with my, say, wallet, the organization to run the business is very lean. Because the governance is overlooking most of the things, and because I have a limited amount of people working onto the project. And when you go into institutional investments, it's a complete different story. And it's a cultural shift which we are going through in Italy, which we didn't know up until 10 years ago. Now I mean, you are into big investments, investments where probably restoration of an hotel is 10,000 per square meter, okay, which was the case of a super luxury house 10 years ago, okay? So if you had, say, 10 years ago, 3,000, 4,000 euro to develop a luxury property, okay, today is 10,000. Now you have a little bit of inflation within this, which we know, but you have also an amount of new technical stuff, materials, coordination, number of suppliers going into the development, which is huge. So into a big project, you might have 30 people into the management of the project, okay? Sometimes they are centered because the PM is lucky and is bringing in all of the organization which have the capability, because there are 600 people in Italy, so they have the capability of delivering all the different verticals of the project. No? But if you don't have that capability, then you have to coordinate all the people. And first, it's difficult to coordinate the people operating into the project. And the second thing is the governance. And the governance is an issue. Why? Because you never know who has the pocket. Okay, the money. You never understand really who has the decision. Okay, so you work in Italy and you have to work with SGR organization, which has the compliance on one side. So they have a little bit of power. So they can say, okay, this supplier, you cannot take it, or you cannot proceed this way. And on the other side, you have the money which comes into the project to say, well, if they are saying that we cannot do it, then we have to change. And every changes into a large organizational stuff is a nightmare, which is creating delays into the development. Our business development, okay, must be fast. Decision should be taken very quickly, because otherwise you lose money, okay? And then also you lose the motivation of the people working within the project.
Thank you. Very interesting point of view.
Sorry, for a company point of view, if I can add, is the sooner the better. Mm-hmm. So we have to start really at the beginning. We don't think to be anymore just a supplier, because what is requested to us more and more is a consultative approach. So we are consultant in most of the projects that we are working on. That's why we have to start from scratch at the beginning. Every single project is different. And another thing that is very important for me, and I'm pushing a lot all my team to work in this direction, is to have an approach and a discussion peer-to-peer. Otherwise, a lot of times we are forced to change the project 10, 20, 30 times. I see sometimes really some hotel projects with 25 different layouts. Because, you know what, we forgot there is a door there. You know what, we forgot, no, the ceiling there is just 2 meters. So that's why I always push to speak with the decision maker, not maybe with someone that they need to justify their presence in the office. And this is something not easy to manage, because there are a lot of actors in every single project that are coming in day by day, and sometimes appear after maybe 2 years. You realize that there is another very important consultant in the project. So for me to speak really peer-to-peer is very, very important.
Thank you. Let's if you want to add something, okay, fine. We have one last shot, one last video pill, and let's introduce it. So in a certain way, the next step, so we're talking about integration, the next step maybe should be the infrastructure level in a way. So wellness as infrastructure, I don't know. Is it feasible? Is it not feasible? Is it a dream? Is it something too tricky? Generally speaking, the question is, what is the role of technology and wellness ecosystems in shaping the next generation of hospitality environments, and how the different stakeholder can work together with the right timing. So let's focus on the first one. So the role of technology and the wellness ecosystem. How do you think that this key factor can produce a new way of hospitality environments? Marijana, Marco?
Okay, it's tough.
I know.
Thank you. So straightforward, yes, it's possible. I guess everything's possible, right?
Okay.
So this is to have wellness and technology merge seamlessly, using the same word. Of course, it's a path that has to be taken, from different direction, I believe. We all, what we do, but not only us in general, technology should be invisible, right? Simple and invisible. We're not anymore in the 90s where you have all this domotic and very complicated use of technology. People got bored, people got confused, things don't work, then you spend twice to simplify, but you have to do it. Like you said before, complexity, like now it brings a project to a certain performance that you have to have complexity. The hard part is making complexity simple, but in general, in life, I would imagine. In an architecture project, of course, it's about subtracting, understanding what is prioritizable in a single project. If it is wellness, of course, it's about air quality, it's about sound retention, it's about giving natural material feeling, not necessarily natural real material, but feeling of naturality. So lighting, surfaces, then it is about wellness, of course. We also now just completed a longevity center, in which was all about hidden technology, but also very high-end technology. It's a center we did also. It's like kind of a clinic, but very high level, in which you have the MRI, the TAC, and all the most incredible high-level technology, but in a very welcoming environment. Completely the opposite of what a hospital is. When you go to your doctor, you sit down in a cold environment. So delete all that, but even the way you approach a doctor visit, we did it in a completely different way. You go in a living room. You meet with your doctor that is more of your consultant, more than a doctor with the glasses. And so the environment has to be super technology aware, but in a way that the message and the experience you have to give to your customer, to your client, is the opposite, that you have almost technology-less, but you have it behind it. It's like you go to the best expert, the best clinic, but you feel, well, I wouldn't say with your friend, but almost. So technology in this longevity center we just completed, but also in a house. Think about simple things, how now everybody has an app. You can control your home from remote. There are people that are more keen to understand and be like aware of applications and remoteless, so controlling everything. People that are actually not, so it depends on which kind of preparation, but they have to have it. So to answer your question, of course, it has to be, every time has to be different, depending on the final user. Could be a private owner, could be a longevity center based all on wellness with a state-of-the-art technology, or like a hotel, in a hotel, even the way, so how many hotels now you go, you do check-in by yourself, right? It's pretty common now. Nobody goes, I mean, you can, but there are hotels also where you do private check-in, online check-in, self-check-in, which at each category, you can choose. And even given for instance, I would prefer not to check in. I like my self-check-in. So for me as a customer, it's an additional value, going to be able to arriving at and not having to queue, but having my QR code and check in. But not everybody, so you have to have.
Well, it depends who is behind the desk.
Well, it depends.
That might give you a chance to go to the desk and check in.
Well, I can choose, evaluate who is behind the desk if I want to do self-check-in or being helped, right?
You don't like queues.
And so I would also ask to all of you actually, how can longevity, wellness, and all this in a way sophisticated experience can move from an add-on layer to a fundamental layer in the upcoming generation of hospitality destination?
If I can start, I can test here that every single day we are receiving projects linked to wellness, longevity, with this core of the project from all around the world, and so it's not just a trend. I don't think it's a trend. I think is that we realize really that we want to live longer and better. And so all these new projects are focused around wellness, longevity, and doesn't matter if it is a clinic, as the one that Marco mentioned before, that anyway is, I was there just last week. It's like, it's an hospitality project. When you get in, you say, wow, this is a fantastic place. Looks like a hall of a boutique hotel with natural materials, natural color. It brings you in another environment immediately, when you get in there. So it's all about this kind of experience. And of course, the hotels, the retreat, the resort can pop up like every day. We are receiving different projects, but from all around the world with this focus. So I think it is not a trend anymore. It's something that will last for a long time.
I think it's what is interesting also these days, that we have to be able to create those to be able to enter spaces that transform you from a chaotic city, and you go into these spaces, and as Christian was describing, that you're in a different place. Okay, so you just open the door, you go in, you have your hour and a half, you have your lunch, you have a nice, you switch off, you calm down, you have your short break. We don't like this kind of capsules that are present, Japanese, you go there, you sit in, but we just have to almost create those kind of feeling in a spaces within the city, because then retreats are beautiful and they're more and more beautiful. But let's say that it would be very nice that we we succeed in creating these environments. But even this could be a restaurant. It doesn't have to be a hotel or a center or wherever you go. You cut your hair, you go to the gym, you do many things during our like fast days, like our routine in the morning until the evening. It would be ideal, and we should all work on that. This is like our focus today, is just to create those little capsules that are a little bigger or whatever. So it's not about the size, it's about this environment that helps you switch off and go into a different space for a little, short period of time that helps like what happens next.
If I can add something, I think going back to the basics, sleeping is an issue. I have realized I don't have problems in sleeping, fortunately.
Lucky you.
Yes. No, but I know
do.
that is, it's very common that people don't sleep, or they wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, they cannot sleep. So I believe that there is an angle there to be for the hospitality industry to look into and provide services for sleeping. So, people, they don't know you have many things that you can do in order to improve your sleep, which are not pills eventually, but new techniques and technology, which is developing. And I'm discovering this because one of my kids is very much into this. And there is an angle to have a service within a property which can help out guests in understanding why and what they should do in order to better sleep.
You were mentioning service, right? So maybe just to add that if a project is not aligned in parallel with the service and operational understanding, I mean, so forming the staff, how you approach, like in a retail, it's very important that you go any project, any restaurant, any hotel. Service, then you can argue is part of the design. You can do the most beautiful design by having the best service. How many restaurants we all know that are not a very good design, but are incredible experience because the service, the way they treat, more likely even in a wellness or healthness or like a hotel environment, or even somebody that serves you with sleeping advices. It's all about that. We are also sensitive about service that is operated by, you have to form people. It's very hard. Maybe it's harder than doing a good design.
I would add a sleeping consultant. Now, since you're filming, I can say that is my idea. Okay. In the future. The sleeping consultant within a property, to me, it's a value on add service that into whatever kind of hotel is going to be an add-on. And again, you can add a shop with all the different gimmicks in order to better sleep, the exercise that you should do to improve your sleeping. And I believe that that is something which is very much related and to the hospitality and doesn't carry any risk related to health of the guests.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Can I add just something that for our health, don't forget that only 20% is about genetic. 80% is about epigenetic, so it's our attitude, how we live, how we sleep, how much we take care of us. So this is something that we have to work on a lot.
Absolutely. Well, to be honest, I feel really enriched by this conversation. So the first thank goes to all the speakers and their valuable and interesting contribution tonight. It has been a very fluid, dynamic, but intense in a way, very interesting, by the way, panel discussion. So thank you all. I hope that the audience, both online and here with us, enjoyed the conversation. And I think it's time to wrap up and enjoy a cocktail all together for those who are here in Milan with us. And see you to our international audience from online. And let's keep connected to the upcoming format of the Architect series. Thank you. Have a good night.